Hey guys, just before the start of the video, just want you guys to have a look and read this and just, see, just for copyright and, non-profit sort of reasons. Just want to, let it clear and be out to you guys. Read it and have a look. You probably won't, but I just have to, for legal reasons, put this in at the start. Also, just as a by-the-by, this is a non-profit channel, and it always will be, so I don't get anything out of this as well. So, have fun guys, and enjoy the video. Hello everyone, and welcome to a This Is video. I wanted to do a little This Is on a game that you may or may not know exists. Chapter Master. Yes, this is the alpha, which is available online. Just type in Chapter Master Alpha or go onto 1D4chan, and it's on there as well if you look up Chapter Master. This is a great game. We will skip the tutorial. I actually played this. I'm not sure what version of the alpha this is, but I played this back in the very first version of the alpha. And I must admit, coming back to it, it's nice to see they've fixed a lot. They've feature creeped, added all the bits and pieces in. So yes, this is Chapter Master. The idea is that you command a chapter of Space Marines, and it's a sort of a micromanagement thing. You patrol around the Imperium fighting, orcs and chaos, and, choosing what you want to do and how you want to recruit. And basically, you are in charge of your own chapter of Space Marines, which is as awesome as it sounds. And I know fans of 40k and stuff will love it, and TG and all those awesome guys that made it, thanks a lot to you guys. So yeah, this is it. Pretty simple. It's still an alpha. There's still a little few bugs and things I got a bit bummed about. It's a bit of a roguelite sort of thing, like random encounters. Like I did a practice round of this literally a minute ago. Well, I actually came off it a minute ago, and I started up, and immediately a demon fleet appeared over my chapter homeworld and wiped everyone out, which was slightly unfair, but oh well. So yeah. You can play as the original founding chapters, the well-known ones up here, existing chapters, Black Templars, Minotaurs. I love the fact that they've gone to the effort to include awesome chapters like the Lamenters, my personal favorite, the Carcharodons, Soul Drinkers, stuff like that. True TG favorite, the Angry Marines there, gotta have them. Emperor's Nightmares are a pretty good one as well, Soul Krakens, but I suppose the one that everyone will really be appreciative of is custom, to create your own one. So let's just create our own one here. Let's call them the Black Knights. And should they be a homeworld? I think the Black Knights would be a fleet-based chapter. Oh yes, you have 100 points of which to customize your chapter. You can choose what your chapter emblem's like. I really need to upload mine and put that in. Let's go with that. That looks pretty black with a sort of a white thing. You can choose what your founding legion is. So we're going to go Imperial Fists for this one. You can choose, you've got your stats, your GNC, purity, stability. You have advantages and disadvantages. Advantages, you've got a whole list of them here. And I really like the fact that they've put these in and implemented quite a few of them. A couple of them not implemented yet, but it's still an alpha, guys, so you got to keep that in mind. So, what should the Black Knights be? Well, I think they would definitely be melee enthusiasts. I reckon their GNC purity would be pretty high. What about disadvantages? Some of these aren't implemented yet, but first in, last out sounds like something the Black Knights would do. I'm not taking that one. Sieged. Suspicious. Tolerant. Fresh blood. Blood debt. Yeah, tell you what, I'm just gonna throw up some ones that don't have any negative effects just for this one at the moment. But look, you got things like demons can be attracted to your chapter, splintered, tech heresy, tolerant, the Black Rage if you're running a Blood Angel successor chapter. This is a very well, a lot of thought and energy went into this, and I really like it. You know what? Psyker intolerant. The Black Knights don't like psychers. And see, every disadvantage you get gives you 20 points to add to your stats as well, so it's actually a good idea to keep some disadvantages with the advantages. It actually makes it seem a bit more authentic as well, because not every chapter is perfect, despite what people say about the Ultramarines. We're going to have Paragon. And we're going to... Now, we're going to have a really pure chapter. And what else? We're going to have the enemies of the Orcs. And up those. Okay, the Black Knights. Now, this is really good. As we play the fleet-based chapter, we get to choose what our flagship is, what our recruiting world is, what type of training our scouts go through, and I really love it. It shows a great deal of dedication and a little bit of micromanagement to it as well. Like someone actually, you know, knows a bit about Space Marines when they made this. So what would a Black Knight flagship be called? Invincible. That'll do. And we're gonna give them a feudal world. We're gonna call it Camelot. Okay. Small chance of corruption. No. No. Exposure. Challenge. Yeah, I think the Black Knights would be challenging for these guys. See, back in the time when I first played this, the first version of the alpha, you could only change primary and secondary colors. So to add all this into it is really great, I must admit. Right, Black Pauldron. They're called the Black Knights, so not about to... Oh, I don't want a dark grey. No. Let's go a real black. Let's go a real dark red with this. Weapon, go with dark red. Argyle Tau. We want a fucking word bearer traitor on our team. Not happening. We will have the Green Knight. Up. IDHT. Now I think this works. But yeah, you can choose what your skin, your armor looks like. Hold on for a second. I'll just write this one. Okay, enter, thank you. But you can choose, let's go secondary color gray. You can choose, see how you want your armor to look. Breastplate, quadrant, everything like that. Oop, black. To add a feel to it. You can customize what weapons your apothecaries. I want to give my apothecaries chainswords, storm bolters. Let's give them just standard bolt guns. No, we'll give them bolt pistols. You can choose what they want to be. Like, you could be dumb and call them just medic, or you could call them something, you know, I don't know, something more appropriate that than something Latin or something. So we're just going to call our guys medics because I have a complete lack of creativity. But you can choose what everyone starts out with. I must admit, Chaplain's not being able to start with a Crozius Arcanium is a bit odd, but I just substitute it with a Power Axe myself. Chaplain. So you can choose what your scouts are. You can load. So you can load each of the companies into your ships. You can see. You wish your companies to be uniformed and contain assault marines and devastators. You can load them minus escorts, which is good because escort ships only hold about 30 ships. It's probably not the best to do it. I think that's probably a more of a better title. Okay. Right. So once you've done that, you see, if you didn't pick a pure gene seed, you'd have to choose one mutation. If your gene seed was less pure, you'd have to choose a different one. This one's like, you know, you can only regenerate with gene seed at half the rate. You have to spend twice the time healing. You take more casualties because you can't go into suspended animation. Your Space Marines are more immune to are no longer immune to stun grenades. stuff like that. Disturbing voice, more susceptible to poisons. I think there's another one that basically it's the salamander gene. That one's the flesh terror gene. Where's the salamander gene? Oh, counts as 4 mutations. Oof. Increasing Imperial Guard disposition. There's another one. Brain attack. Oh yeah, that was what I call the salamander one, which I find slightly bullshit, but no matter. Right. Chapter Master. Alright. He's going to be armed with a relic blade and a plasma pistol. Also, I think we missed out their battle cry. You each customized your chapter's battle cry. I think that's invincible. Yeah, that'll do. And you choose whether you want your chapter master to be a born leader, a champion, or a psyker. So each of them have their own advantages and disadvantages. I also realized I made a spelling mistake with the second O, but forget about it. Right, so this is the in-game itself. It looks slightly, you know, like a 90s PC game with the graphics and stuff, but it is what it is, and I think it's really good for, like, the graphics aren't really that important considering what it is. So you start off, you have your fleet, you click on the planets, you go, you have a look at what's around, you see what's up. Like, for example, this planet, it's got orc threat on it, so you can go send over there and fight the orcs, or you can look around and go, you know, this planet's got this on it. Some planets, I'm just trying to find one. Oh, Tyranid presence, yep. I think this one's probably a good one to go save. You see you have the other factions, Adeptus Sororities. So you've got all these different things down the bottom. Chapter management allows you to customize each of the individual soldiers. Your Space Marines, they have experience. You can re-equip what they have. You can transfer them into different companies. You can promote them if they have enough promotion. If they're being a bit treasonous, you can jail them. You know, you have complete and total control over every member of your chapter. You choose what armor, what weapons, what skills they do, what things they manage. Apothecarium, you can choose Master the Apothecarium Green Knight there. You can choose what you want to do here. The Reclusium, where you change chaplains. The Librarium, where they analyze artifacts, you can pick up. You know, you train librarians, stuff like that. Combat knife, chainsword. Yeah, armorum. If you get STC fragments, you can either gift them or identify them and use them themselves, and they promote skills. You completely micromanage all your equipment here. You have the amount of suits of armor you have. You can requisition and build more. Vehicles. You know, you can upgrade. You can buy more land. You can't buy Land Raiders, but you can buy whirlwinds, stuff like that. Ships. You can requisition new ships, battle barges, strike cruisers, hunters, things like that. So that's really a little bit of in-depth management here. Now, so you got thing here. You choose how your scouts are trained. You choose if you want to recruit and at what rate. You don't recruit psychers, but say you want to recruit more tech priests, or you don't want to recruit more chaplains at this time, you can just dump that down. The fleet, you can micromanage your ships. You can see how many Space Marines are on them, things like that. Very nice. Diplomacy. Fuck these guys. I always keep on the good side of the Inquisition, I've discovered through my playthroughs of the old versions of this alpha. I only had one run-in with the Inquisition when after I've downloaded and played this for about an hour yesterday. So yeah, pretty good. Imperium. Yep, you can request audiences with different people. You can trade. You can trade with them. You can demand objects. You can discuss. You can propose alliances and praise and gift items to. You've got the enemy factions here, which you can negotiate with if you're a heretic, or you can just annihilate them like I do. I'm not sure what these are. I'm assuming that they're going to add in other Space Marine chapters at some point. I'm not entirely sure myself. but it would be awesome if they did. And if they added a co-op, like a local area network thing, where you and another person as two separate Space Marine chapters going around, you know, doing stuff, would be awesome to me, but that's just me personally. See, you've got models library, you can just basically options here, company command structure, you can choose what your roles are. Right here you've got all of the things like that. Okay, so yeah, I hit diplomacy, showed you that. Event log records everything you've done, so if you've taken up a mission and you forget what it was, like I took up some bullshit mission to assassinate a governor and I forgot what planet it was, you just scroll down until you find it, and then you can carry on your way. So I think the Black Knights should go take down some Tyranids. I guess it gives up. Marys 1 died. Okay. Marasai 1. So you've got to keep an eye out on things that are going on down there. Orc fleets. Must admit, fleet combat is where I lost most of my Space Marines in previous times. But oh well. Right. Okay, so we're going to show you what a basic... Oh, wait. Oh, the Tyranids are gone. The Imperial Guard must have fought them off themselves. That's the first time that's ever happened. I guess every time you hit intern, it advances the game 1 month. So if you've got something that takes 12 months to do, say someone wants you to be at a certain place at 12 months, you've got to make sure you're there within 12 clicks. Which is also, you know, each click is each month in the warp. Right, this is an artifact. So for an artifact, what you do is I normally send the entirety of 10th Company on this, because I think it's good training for them. Send them down to the planet, and you can talk to the governor, you can take the artifact yourself. Sometimes the artifact is in ancient ruins, which are occasionally guarded by demonic cults, or orcs or demons or something like that, and you've got to actually fight to get the artifact, which was a bit of a shock the first time I played it, and I sent 2 librarians down just to take the artifact, assuming it would be piss easy, and they ended up coming across 2,000 Chaos Space Marines. That was an interesting fight. Oh yes, you can individually customize all of the things from this menu here to chapter management. You can select them all, you can load them to certain, say you want your first company to be on your battle barge or a strike cruiser as opposed to battle barge, you can transfer them over. You want them to deploy on a planet, you can go unload, select the destination, you can deploy them on the planet. So it's a way of getting all your forces onto the ground at once. Really good for dealing with Necron Tomb Worlds, because you've got to actually root out the entirety of the Tomb World itself, so that's pretty good. Yes, battle here. Come across the enemy, you have several options. You can raid them, which is just lightning fast in and out attack. Bombard them, which you normally at the cost of the civilian population, but can be good in certain circumstances. Or you can attack them. You can choose how many forces you want to attack. A hint for anyone who wants to play this: do not send your entire chapter to do one job. I learnt that mistake in the old versions of the alpha. Sending 1,000 Space Marines to take out what I assumed to be was a band of Chaos Cultists and turned out to be an entire Chaos Legion was certainly interesting. And this is basically a fight. What you do is you hit enter at the appropriate moment. The game automatically fights it for you. You look at the bits and pieces, you see how you're doing, how the enemy are doing. Do not just spam enter, because that's a good way to completely lose place of the battle and see if you're actually winning or losing or not. See? And you can choose what row companies you want, where everyone is, stuff like that. See? Enemy forces defeated down the bottom. It shows you how many how many armies of enemies are left on that certain planet at a time. In regards to attacking, you have 2 action points per turn. So you can attack twice in any one battle, which is good because you actually need that when you're dealing with like vast hordes of Tyranids and stuff and orcs. But it's really nice as opposed to the old 1 system they had in the old version of the alpha, which meant you were constantly just pecking away at orc hordes and Tyranid forces. So yeah, may not seem very visually interesting, but this game is very surprisingly engrossing, especially if you're a fan of 40k. because all of us, all 40k fans, well, Imperial loyalists, we all have our own TG, you know, our own homebrew Space Marine chapters, our own Space Marine chapter close to our hearts. Like, for example, mine's the Lamenters and the Marines Errant. So you can replay as those chapters. The people who've made this went into a lot of effort. Like, the chapter master is actually, of the Lamenters, is Melicon Phoenix. They've actually got the right names for the Forge Masters and stuff like that. So it is very authentic, and you can't, you know, denounce it for not being so. So, yeah, we're just gonna, I reckon, go through another 5-10 minutes, just show you with some of the extra little bits and pieces you can do, and then we'll call it a video. I am, just as a warning guys, am going to do like an hour-long let's play in this game as my own personal chapter I made up years ago, so, you know, just be warned. Alright. Orc presence sparse, orc presence moderate. See, in this case, what you got to do is learn the patterns of the orcs. For example, if you leave a moderate horde here, eventually the orcs will spread to the next planet. So you've got to cut off the largest forces until they're at a point where they can't jump planets, and then you pin them down and get rid of them. So, for example, we're going to try and cut off the head of the orcs on this planet here, and hopefully they will get rid of their ability to jump over planets. So see, yep, orcs have decreased to 2, so there's less orcs on that planet. See, orcs sparse, and as these guys are moderate, I'm going to keep with the rule, do not employ your entire chapter in one attack. Even if the odds are so well in your favor it's not funny, don't do it. It's just asking for trouble. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't, I'm a fleet-based chapter at the moment, but I normally leave, at least if you're playing as a homeworld, you have a chapter of a homeworld, leave one company of Space Marines on that homeworld. For example, the game when I was ages ago, when I was telling you about how I'd just come off a game where I got completely stomped in the first 5 turns, I sent the entirety of my chapter, except for 6th Company, off on a crusade, and my homeworld was attacked by, like, a traitor Legion Fleet of Chaos, and there was only one company left to defend my homeworld. So, I always recommend doing that. As the orcs eventually talk to you, you can, you know, propose alliances. I must admit that the GUI should be in white or green writing down the bottom here, because it's quite hard to see, but I will say that they are the options are left to right: trade, demand. Honestly, can't see that. Denounce, praise, and propose alliance. Oh, that one must be discuss or declare war. So I'm going to denounce this vile orc. Yeah, piss off you orc as well. You can't beat me. I'm invincible. So we will attack again. Attack. So yeah, that comes up quite a lot. The Eldar and the Tau always tend to try and negotiate with you before you fight them. But they're Xenos, so, you know, you don't need to feel like you're inclined in any way to kill them or not to kill them. Alright. See? We're slowly picking down the orcs. And sometimes campaigns will honestly take ages upon ages. As you have to slowly peck away at all of the orcs out there. But it's what you gotta do. It's realistic. You have to root the orcs out of every crevice and crack. It's actually authentic to the 40k grimdark sort of warfare, which I admire. Someone to actually go out and make this in the first place is very impressive, and I will have a link to the alpha and thanks to the guy who made it in the thing below, and I highly recommend you pick it up. Alright. Oh yes, as we're looking at the world map here, red designates Forge Worlds run by the Mechanicum. Green represents Orc controlled worlds. Purple represents ones in the hands of traitors or under demonic possession. You also have Dead Worlds. You got Volcanic Worlds, Hive Worlds, Adeptus Sororitas Worlds, Feudal Worlds. They're pretty fun. desert world. See that? That might be a Necron tomb world, might be an artifact, it might be an STC fragment. You don't know, which necessitates exploration. Also, the planets are actually pretty cool as well, if you look at them. And Orista, New Veronia. A lot of them are actually submitted by people on TG, myself included. It was actually quite funny. I ended up seeing my own homemade planet of Telenor on this game when I, in the previous playthrough actually, it was right next door to my homeworld. So I thought that was pretty cool. You know, a little bit of everyone, like the whole community had an input on this game, which I love. You know, it's everyone coming together and as TG says, getting shit done. So yeah, TG gets stuff done. Right, let's attack again. I don't think that there's anything else I really have to say, except, honestly, if you're a fan of 40k, and you've always wanted to run a Space Marine chapter, but you've never actually got around to collecting models, or you kind of weren't interested in going through all the super effort of it, pick this game up. It is really absorbing, and it's a lot of fun to play with. So, highly thankful about that. I think we will leave off with the Chapter Master here. Anything you have to say, Chapter Master John? Please. No? I think he's just a bit of a loony then. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you all again another time.